Welcome back to Lettering with Luther. This is our last video in this series. We are going to use tombow markers to create a watercolor effect on a quote of "We should fear and love God." Today you're going to need some tombow markers. I'm going to use the same set as I did last week. You're going to need some watercolor paper, any size would do. I recommend getting the hot press just to protect your brushes. I'm going to use this pre-cut 5x7 pad. You need a paintbrush, or I'm going to use the tombow water brush and just water, and a pencil, a ruler, and a paper towel, and we can get started. Okay, we're going to create our watercolor piece now. And the first thing we're going to do is sketch it out in pencil. So what we want to do is create a circle frame, and I'm going to kind of just go over that a few times. Then inside of our circle we're going to create 4 lines. And then this is going to be like a wreath. So we're going to have flowers and leaves coming off of it. Just in the corner here, I'm going to add a few up here. Like this. Okay, so let's write out our words. On the very top line, we're going to write "we should" in all cap print. We're going to do "fear" here. And print again. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do is pick our colors to go ahead and go over our pencil sketch. So I'm going to use the same color set as we did in our blending. And these are the colors I'm going to use. So I'm going to go ahead and do the outside of my wreath with this color. I'll go ahead and fill in anything else later that I need to fill in. I'm going to alternate our flowers between the blue and the purple, and for all of this I'm going to do the fine tip. And for these I kind of just start with a swirl and then kind of some petals outside of that. These are going to be smaller flowers. If you watercolor larger flowers, you can really see the colors blend, which is a lot of fun, but today we're just going to focus on some smaller flowers. Mostly just to keep it simple. Add one more small one right here. And I'm going to alternate my leaves with these two greens. So if you add a little bit more ink in there, then you'll notice it'll be a little bit darker when we add the water, as opposed to a lighter watercolor. So on these leaves, I want them a little bit more color. Go back in and fill in some of these sticks. Okay, and we're going to do the words in this blue. So I'm going to give this a few minutes, let these dry, and then I'll go through and erase everything. Okay, now that it's dry, we're going to go through and just erase all the pencil marks off our design. Now we're ready for the water, which is my favorite part. So go ahead and grab your Tombow water brush. Like I have, make sure you've filled it with water. You should actually add some more to mine. You can use just a regular paintbrush and some water. My advice is to use something that has a fine tip, because when we go over the letters especially, we don't want to add a lot of water. We just barely want to touch it and let it bleed to give it a watercolor effect. We're going to do the words last, and we're going to start with our wreath, then move into the leaves and the flowers, just so we can kind of get a feel of how much water to add and what the colors are going to do with that. I'd grab a paper towel, have that nearby, because you're going to want to dab some of your excess water from your brush on it. And also, in case you ever get too much water on your paper, you can use that and kind of pick some of that up. Okay. Okay, so we're going to start by just lightly going over these brown pieces. We kind of want them to look like twigs bound together in our wreath. So as you add water on top of them, you can see them start to bleed. Tombow markers are water-based, which is why they're able to create such beautiful art when we use water with them. There's a lot of different methods to use tombow markers for watercolor effects. This is just one of my favorites. Maybe at some point we can go into a few others. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and do the leaves next. So to do the leaves, I'm gonna do one color at a time. For the leaves, I'll start with this lighter green. And I'm just gonna add water right in the middle of them. And I'll let it absorb the color around it. Go ahead and go back over the spots that didn't quite bleed. You'll notice that some colors bleed a little bit more than others, and some you need to apply more water on. And then once you're happy with your wreath, go ahead and let that dry. And we will add water to our words next. All right, we're gonna go ahead and add water to our words now. This is the part that can be really tricky and always makes me nervous, because after I'm so happy with the outside of my design, I'm worried that I'm going to ruin it by messing up the words. We wanna add just a little bit of water and outline on top of our words, especially the print. You'll notice we didn't do any thickness difference in any of our letters yet, so we're going to add more water actually on the downstrokes and create that thickness during this part. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the "we should," and I'll speed this up as I work. So you can see the goal is just to add enough water that it has a little bit of bleed and looks like it has that watercolor effect. So we're going to go ahead and on the downstroke of the F create a thicker line here with water. And we'll do that same effect for the rest of our downstrokes. Go ahead and take your time. And remember to use your paper towel and dab if you mess up at all. Alright, there we have our final piece, and now bring it up close. You can see how those letters and flowers look. And that's just one way to use tombow brushes for watercolor in your lettering pieces. Yay, we finished the whole series. Thank you for sticking with me and exploring new lettering techniques with me. I hope you enjoyed it. The watercolor technique is one of my favorites. I've used it for gifts for friends and families, and I think it looks beautiful with many color combinations and different floral designs, so keep trying different combos and show me on Instagram or Facebook. Make sure you tag me. Please like and subscribe to this video, and as a thank you for staying with me on this journey, I have put 2 free downloads for you of Luther's morning and evening prayer up on the website, so go ahead and click the link to get those. Those will be up today. And have a great week, and stay tuned for more lettering series in the future. God bless.